if they don't see goals, the Lagos crowd will start disturbing you. Where are the goals? Oh, we are saying, give us
Give
one
us some
goal.
goals.
They have their own kind of pressure. So Super
Mm,
Eagles, for some reason, look, they win in Lagos, they enjoy Lagos, they enjoy the crowd, but after a while, the pressure is a little too much. Um, and tagged to that, the national stadium is in a different state of its own. I won't say Teslim Balogun Stadium is not as much of a pressure as the national stadium used to be. So it's a little bit of a different case, but Lagos adds pressure. And so when they took it to all these other states, they're just like, thank God for Lagos crowd. And Lagos crowd proved it again. NFF had already said, we are going to give a few fans tickets. The rest of you, stay at home, watch on NFF TV. Do you know how many fans were outside the gate yesterday? That
how
they
many?
had to lock the gates.
Hmm.
Why are people not at home? COVID is still on.
Yes.
Not everybody has taken the vaccine.
Yeah.
And even then, for goodness sake, Lagos people, let's do better. But they were there at the stadium, the few that were able to enter before, and then the ones that were packed outside. I mean, when the Super Eagles were coming in, that welcome was great for them. But the
Mm.
unrowdy behavior, for goodness sake, Lagosians, let's try to do better. But the match went on. The game was great to watch. The pitch, we still have some questions, but it was um, the first match there after the pitch had been relayed. So
Mm.
not too much we can say about that. But the match was good. The players had no pressures on their shoulders. And they played with the freedom that they played. And again, Lesotho is really, I mean, in as much as we don't have any small teams anymore, but Lesotho is really not a Nigerian rival if you're talking African football or any kind of football.
Mm.
And so the Super Eagles did what they needed to do. But the big deal here for was Paul Onachu scoring a second goal in a second game, especially in a tournament that he wasn't originally called up to. A list that he wasn't originally not drafted to. So it's almost like he's telling Genoro, look, pick me more often and I will give you more goals. I would say this for Paul Onachu. I've seen him score for his club. Um, but the way the style of play sometimes in Nigeria may be frustrating for a guy of his kind. With his height, with the way he positions himself, the wingers should be throwing in more support into the 18-yard box for him to take advantage of. But oftentimes with the Nigerian Super Eagles, oftentimes with the Nigerian Super Eagle players, the wingers try to go and score themselves. So, so it doesn't help Paul Onuachu's game. But in the past two games, he scored the first one from a set piece. I mean, even this one was kind of set piece like. So it is a style they have to look at changing. And maybe Raw doesn't want to change that style. Maybe that's why he doesn't rate Onachu highly. But if you give the boy opportunities, he's proven he can score goals, and he scored a couple of goals. So congratulations to Nigerians and congratulations to Lagosians, the ones that behave themselves well, that
Yes.
welcomed the Super Eagles and treated them well. The rest
Yeah.
of you do better.
Do better.
That's all I
All right. Thank you so much. Remember, we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can watch and leave a comment there as well. The Locker Room 981 is on Smooth 98.1. Now, Benin refused to play a key African Cup of Nations qualifier in Sierra Leone on Tuesday, that was yesterday, after challenging the positive COVID-19 test results for 5 of their players. A dramatic final day of qualifying for the 2021 tournament in Cameroon also saw a referee collapse, leading to a match between the Ivory Coast and Ethiopia being abandoned 10 minutes from time. Benin holds a 3-point lead over Sierra Leone in Group L, and both teams have a chance of finishing runners-up to Nigeria. Tega?
Okay, so here is the big deal. First of all, I will say this is karma. So we didn't discuss this part when Nigeria went to Benin, but when Nigeria arrived at Benin, the Benin Republic officials claimed that Alex Iwobi, who did a test, by the way, from
Mm,
UK, tested positive for COVID. And so Nigeria found a way to get him back to Nigeria. We did 2 tests here. It was negative results.
wow.
Uh-huh. So that's what they did to Alex Wobi when we went there.
That's
Now they arrived at Sierra Leone, and Sierra Leone is claiming that 5 to 6 of their players have tested positive to the COVID virus, and they're not taking the results. When you were doing it to another person, you did not know that they will do it back to you. See, Africa, they do all this kind of no, Africa, they do all this kind of dirty tricks. And I think we need to curb it. We need to find a way to curb it, but it is something that Africans do. You will arrive at their country, like I said before, they will give you a poor hotel to stay, or they'll give you poor training facilities. The fans will be outside your hotel room just making noise and terrorizing you. So you won't be comfortable. By the time you get on the pitch to play the match, you've already lost the match from your mind before you get on the pitch. So African countries do this kind of intimidation, dirty tricks, tactics to get ahead. And it's something we need to look at as a continent. But what had happened was the Benin Republic players now decided that they are not going to come down from the bus and play this match because Sierra Leone is claiming that 5 or 6 of their players have tested positive to the COVID-19 virus when they had given a negative test for all their players. So they stayed on the bus. CAF now gave them till I think 7:30 to play their match, or the match should be forfeited. They still didn't come down. Bottom line, they now said the match was postponed. Now, ideally, in this kind of case, because Benin refused to get off the bus and play, and Sierra Leone were ready, ideally, it should be a forfeited match. So Sierra Leone should get the 3 points and 3 goals and move to the next round because they needed to win. Now, all Benin Republic needed was a draw to qualify. So if they had gotten off the bus and played their match and gotten a draw, end of discussion. So I don't know how CAF is going to handle it. Like I said, ideally it should be a forfeiture. It should be 3 points Sierra Leone, 3 points and 3 goals Sierra Leone. But I don't know what the extenuating circumstances are given the pandemic. Yeah, because there are some rules that if you have like 5 or 6 or something about a number of players testing positive, then maybe you can't even play. So if that is the situation, I don't know what CAF will decide. So we are waiting to hear from CAF. So there is no definite decision right now from CAF. We're waiting to hear from CAF what they have decided on this Sierra Leone Benin match. But Benin did it to us, and Sierra Leone did it to them. All I'm saying is, what goes around
comes around. That's the essential part of this message from Tega.
Exactly.
Keep those messages coming into WhatsApp 0809444091. I have this one here. This next story actually. World number 1 Ashley Barty advanced to the semifinals of the Miami Open on Tuesday as Russia top seed Daniil Medvedev booked his place in the quarterfinals of the men's tournament. Barty battled through her third 3-setter of the fortnight to oust the 7th seed Arina Sabalenka of Belarus in 2 hours, 16 minutes on the grandstand court. The Australian will face Elena Svitolina of Ukraine in the semifinals following her grueling 6-4, 6-7, 5-7, 6-3 win. Tega?
So huge one. So I remember when Arina Sabalenka won her previous game before the quarterfinals, and she heard she was facing Ashley Barty. So the the on-court interviewer asked her that you must look forward to, said to her, you must look forward to facing Ashley Barty because I think you've beaten her twice. She said, no, I've beaten her more than twice. So I'm looking forward to an interesting match. She's the world number 1, so it's a bit tough, but I'm looking forward to it. You see, pride goes before a fall. No need to brag. And she bragged before the match, and then the match came. And because Ashley Barty didn't play most of 2020, so she's not in as great a form as she was in that took her to the world number 1 position. But she's still the world number 1, and she's still Ashley Barty. So you're going to face a tough opponent. There was no need to say, oh yes, I've beaten her more than twice. No. especially as Ashley Barty is ready to fight for her life because now Osaka is right on her tail in the ranking. And so Ashley Barty got on the court and fought for every point. Sabalenka on a normal day would have won that game against many other opponents. But against Ashley Barty, you better have a clean game. And Sabalenka's first error was really high. I would say some of it were forced errors because Ashley Barty made Sabalenka overthink and doubt and second guess herself on every point. So sometimes she was hitting too long or she was hitting too wide. She just could never calibrate any of her ground strokes because she was playing against Ashley Barty. And so Ashley Barty eventually won the battle. Oh, that's a good rhyme.
I'm telling you. Barty won the battle. Nice.
Yes, she eventually won the battle. And she's through to the next round. But for Sabalenka, she's had a great year. However, whenever you're playing the world number one, whatever you've done against them before is of no consequence. Beat them again today. If you've beaten them 10 times, you must beat them the 11th time. You can't be comfortable in the thought that you have conquered them before. So it doesn't work that way. So I'm sure she has learned her lesson. But Ashley Barty is through, and Medvedev is also through. He didn't have to battle as much. Francis Tiafoe was a good opponent, but if you look at their game, Medvedev is world number 2 for a reason. World number 2 ahead of Nadal and ahead of Federer and ahead of Dominic Thiem. So these are all players with big names. So he's world number 2 for a reason. His game is clean and tight. He doesn't make as many of forced errors. He doesn't have as much versatility as a Dominic Thiem would have or a Tsitsipas would have. But what he has is a consistent, clean game. And Francis Tiafoe could. I mean, if immediately I saw the matchup, it looked like Francis Tiafoe was out, and that's how it turned out to be. So, congratulations to both of them. Let's see how they carry on in Miami. They both play today, though. So we'll know about if they were victorious or not by Friday morning.
All right. Thank you, Tega. Please stay with us here on Smooth 98.1. We'll be back after this short break.
Hello, football lovers. Now, let me tell you about the king of EPL offers.
MTN is good today.
One of the most exciting tournaments in the world is now live. And
so now,
thank you, everyone who's watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Please send in your messages. Use the comment section to leave a message. You can talk about the Nigerian game, the match between Nigeria and Lesotho yesterday in Lagos, that held in Lagos. You can decide to react to the stories that you just heard about Ashley Barty winning the battle, just like Tega just said. There's some other things that interest you.
That's not all. You get an extra bonus on your potential win up to 200.
Also, feel free to send a message to our WhatsApp number 0809 444 0981.
BetKing.com today to play with the king of odds and more.
Hey, what's up? This is Radio. Stay tuned, stay locked right here on Smooth 98.1. For kings. This is Smooth Breakfast.
We're back. Good to have you there with us. Thank you for joining us in Smooth Breakfast. My name is Valentine. Tega is here for the Locker Room 981, the segment that talks about sports and treats all the stories that are trailing the sports news today. Now, the first half of the show, Locker Room 981, was brought to you by BetKing. At this time, we have messages on WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. This one is from Ian and Zulary. Ian says, I was expecting to hear that Tega's laughter after she talked about that karma thing. It was sweet me for Bele, but it's all good. I hope I hear the laughter before the end of the show. Karma is sweet in this case. That's what Ian said. Tega, cue in the laughter.
Is it like that?
See, we got it. Taya said, I don't know if I should be questioning Raw as a coach for initially omitting Onuachu. COVID-19 is real, but football fanatics residing in Lagos are stubborn. Lesotho is cousin to South Africa. LOL. He also adds, using fake COVID-19 tests to demoralize your opponent is now a tactic. I guess CAF needs to set in. All right, that's Shay. Thank you. Shay says, "Oh, Valentine, oh yeah, sing. Stand up for the Eagles." Sorry, Tega, wake up, hero. I'm happy for the Super Eagles and Onwachu, aka Nepapo, for scoring again 2 in 2 matches. Wow. Valentine, the law of karma caught up with the Republic of Benin. Why are they shouting that? Tega, why is Africa embarrassing us? Must Africa be disorganized in everything? Sure. He says CAF should sanction Benin Republic. Simple. All right. Charles Chidozie sent in this one earlier. He said, even if that match was played at Agege Township Stadium, the Eagles must feel the pressure. As for those who crowded the entrance, Lagos fans get cool. No, don't insult anyone, Chidozie. Don't do that. All right, we have this one from Akin Adesoji. He says, hello guys, Tega, just imagine if Okoye, Balogun, Ekong, Ndidi, Osime, and Ihanacho had gotten positive COVID tests in Benin. Would we have played? Just imagine that, Tega. Is that something?
We would have had to play.
Right?
Look, what I'm saying is we would have had to find a way to play because those are the rules. You can't play with a positive COVID test. And if they claim you have you tested positive for COVID, and you decide that you're going to fight another way, as opposed to maybe I don't even know, just sitting on a bus, just refusing to get off the bus. You've been given a warning. Come down at 7:30 and play your match. You are refusing to play. You will forfeit the points. I'm sorry. The rules are the rules.
Yeah.
Which is, sometimes they're not fair, but the rules are the rules. When they turned off the light at the stadium, didn't we train? It was
valid point. Valid point.
You will find a way to play. I'm sorry. It's Nigeria that is playing. It's not Osimhen that is playing.
Right. All right, let's move on.
I don't, let me tell you, I don't even pity them. Zero pity, zero. I think CAF should do something about it, about these tactics that countries use. I think CAF should step in and do something about it. But I have zero pity for Benin Republic. Zero.
All right. Fernando Alonso's Renault-owned Alpine team have blamed a discarded sandwich wrapper for wrecking the double world champions Formula One comeback race in Bahrain on Sunday. The Spaniard retired from his first race since 2018 after the car's rear brakes overheated. And in a statement, the team executive director, Marcin Budowski, has this to say. After the second stop, sandwich wrap paper got stuck inside the rear brake duct of Fernando's car, which led to high temperatures and caused some damage to the brake system. So we retired him for safety reasons. Alonso had qualified for the race at Sakir, but retired on lap 32. Tega, what's your take on that?
Who littered the pit lane? Is the first question they should be asking themselves. Nobody should eat 1 hour before the race. That's what they should do. And everybody should eat at the restaurant. That's where everybody should eat. Think about a sandwich wrapper. This guy came out of retirement. 2-time World Cup, he retired, came back to race. And you people use sandwich wrapper to stop his race. Doesn't make any sense.
At all.
Look.
At all. When they ask him, imagine at the press conference and they ask him, what stopped your retirement midway or your comeback after retirement? I say it's a sandwich wrapper.
What caused your retirement in sandwich wrapper? FIA needs to stop everybody from eating anyhow. You can't be eating anyhow. Because he could have picked up that sandwich wrapper from anywhere. It didn't even have to only be the pit lane. It could have been on the track. So no eating at all. But but it's a sad one. It was just a hilarious story to put in that a sandwich wrapper stopped an F1, a good machinery like an F1 car from winning a race or completing a race. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. We have this message in here from on YouTube from Adefemi. He says, Benin Republic are getting a taste of their own medicine. They did it to Nigeria, now it's their turn. Femi from Festac. Adefemi, the same person is back again saying the same people who roasted Raw for using Onuachu in other games are now attacking for dropping him because he scored in consecutive games. Nigerians, he said. Let's move on to the next story here. Now, City's all-time record goal scorer will leave Etihad when his contract expires in summer, and Guardiola has paid a glowing tribute to a player who's won 4 Premier League titles, an FA Cup, and 5 League Cups during his 10 years at the club. Now, Guardiola was quoted as saying that Sergio, speaking of Sergio Aguero, says Sergio is irreplaceable. It's the legend, the best striker this club has ever had for this century through the years. He is irreplaceable in the souls and the hearts and the minds of our fans. Now, Guardiola believes the 32-year-old Argentina international helped establish the club as a powerful force in England and European football, and has backed him to make headlines for City before he leaves, with the club chasing a possible quadruple. Tega?
Okay, so I would say this about Pep Guardiola. This is very good PR because he's kind of had his hand in Sergio Aguero's decision to move. And Sergio Aguero made the right decision to move before things got nasty. Remember how we got nasty with Yaya Toure? Sergio Aguero is saying he just made the decision to move before things got nasty. Because at some point, it looked like Pep Guardiola was actively looking for replacements for Sergio Aguero. And Sergio Aguero this season, his situation hasn't helped matters with the fact that he tested positive for COVID-19. Then he had some severe injuries, all of that. But Pep Guardiola, from the start, from the minute when he went out to start looking for Gabriel Jesus, that was the plan. So Sergio Aguero outscored him, so he couldn't say, this is not, we can't hold on to him. But this season has made it exceptionally worse for Sergio Aguero. And Pep Guardiola actually came out to say, we are not going to play Aguero because of his reputation. We are going to play him if he comes back and he starts scoring goals. So more pressure. And I think Sergio Aguero just read the handwriting on the wall, maybe from the locker room or from everywhere else, and said, you know what, it's time to move. And he took the right decision. It's not messy. It's not dramatic. It's just one guy retiring and leaving the club. And Pep Guardiola, of course, now comes out to say he's a legend of the club. Congratulations to you. And now he's saying he's irreplaceable. The man you've been trying to replace since last season. but I would say this, at the end of the day, both parties will fare well without each other. So I guess it's a divorce made in heaven.
Right. I like that term for that. Interesting. Let's take this message from Kenneth. Kenneth says, good morning, Smooth FM, locker room. Love your show, Valentine and Tega, and shout out to the Super Eagles. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for that. Now, Bayern Munich and Poland striker Robert Lewandowski, they've been ruled out for 4 weeks after spraining a ligament in his right knee. Now, the German champions confirmed this yesterday. Robert Lewandowski has strained the ligament in his right knee, is what the statement read. The FC Bayern striker will be out for around 4 weeks. That's according to the brief statement posted on their website. Lewandowski was injured in Poland's World Cup qualifying win over Andorra on Sunday, ruling him out of their match against England this Wednesday. What are their chances now that Lewandowski has been dropped?
Oh, it is a huge loss for Bayern Munich. First of all, they are the ones paying the big money. So let my felicitation. Is it felicitation?
Yeah.
My condolences, be with them first, because they're paying the huge money. It's a huge loss. 4 weeks. Bayern Munich that have been struggling this season, especially in the Bundesliga, with Lewandowski, who has been scoring most of their goals. They're going to be without him it's going to be a huge one. And then to make matters worse, he picked up this injury when he was on duty for his country. And this is what clubs always cry to FIFA about. We give them a fit player, they return a broken player, and we still have to pay for it.
And we talked about this on Friday.
Yes. We give them a good player, they bring us a broken player. What do we have to do? But it is, you cannot tell a player not to represent his country. It is one of their biggest prides and joy. So it's a huge loss for Bayern Munich. For me, I would say that because they're paying. But it's even a more consequential loss for Poland because they play against England next. I mean, that is horrible. I remember what we were talking about, how the English team has a plethora of good players in good form now.
Yes.
And scoring goals from every corner. They get goals from the midfield, they get goals from defense, they get goals from attack. Poland really has Lewandowski. And now he's gone. So I don't know what they are going to do. I think they should just prepare for damage control. Yeah, that's what they should do today.
That's really what it is.
And they should just damage control. They should just pass the bus. Because the goals are coming.
That's what that's open your hands and receive it. My goodness, nigga, I didn't expect for us to end the show like that. Just like you give it up, like, dude, just receive the goals, just prepare.
Just take
it's coming.
Accept it. It's coming.
Thank you, Tega. Tega is on Twitter as @Tega Supreme. Make sure you engage in this conversation. Use the hashtag LockerRoom981. It continues there on social media. Twitter @Smooth981FM and Instagram @Smooth981. Follow her work with the Ladies in Sports by visiting the website www.ladiesinsport.com or check them out on social media as @Ladies or @Allies International. Tega, thank you so much. Have a lovely day.